Welcome to Decoding Everything. Before we begin today's deep dive, I'd like you to watch this footage. Observe closely the physical transformation about to occur in this silent underwater world. This is a standard thin-walled glass cup, about 3 millimeters thick. In less than 0.003 of a second, it doesn't just crack as you might expect. It instantly pulverizes into dust. The acceleration generated in this instant is more than 3,000 times that of a space shuttle at the moment of liftoff. Within the microseconds of impact, due to extreme kinetic energy conversion, it briefly ignites the surrounding seawater, creating a microscopic star, only the size of an atom, yet with a transient temperature approaching that of the surface of the sun. The architect of this feat is not a high-tech weapon developed by humans, but the Peacock Mantis Shrimp. It is the most paradoxical creature in the ocean. If you encounter it while diving, you might marvel at its peacock-like brilliance and metallic luster. In the journals of 19th century naturalists, it was described as the most extravagant jewel box of the deep sea. But in the eyes of modern biophysicists, it is a perfect machine, a product of 300 million years of extreme evolution, integrating ballistics and structural mechanics. In the diving world and the aquarium trade, it bears a blood-stained nickname, the thumb splitter. This name originates from countless painful cases. Beginners who try to touch this jewel often suffer shattered fingernails, fractured fingertips, or severe lacerations. Today, we will completely disassemble this most violent physical machine of the deep. We will explore how the underlying code of evolution transformed ordinary proteins and chitin into black technology that surpasses even 21st century industrial capabilities. Let's enter the first dimension of our decoding: extreme physics. In the biological world, power usually comes from muscle contraction. However, muscle, an organic tissue, has a natural physical ceiling. The transmission speed of neural electrical signals and the contraction rate of protein fibers limit the upper bound of explosive force. If a peacock mantis shrimp relied solely on direct muscle power to throw a punch like a human, its tiny limbs would barely create a ripple in the high-resistance seawater, let alone shatter a hard shell. However, the peacock mantis shrimp chose a completely different evolutionary path 300 million years ago, a mechanism known in physics as power amplification. We can break this down into a precision biological crossbow system. If you look closely at the structure of its dactyl club joint, you will find a calcified component called the saddle structure. This is essentially an extremely tough leaf spring, much like those made of modern composite materials. Before launching an attack, the mantis shrimp doesn't rush to punch. Instead, it uses strong extensor muscles to slowly cock this saddle-shaped spring over several hundred milliseconds. During this process, a sophisticated biological latch mechanism locks the dactyl club in place, converting massive chemical energy into elastic potential energy, imprisoned within tiny chitin fibers. When the latch is suddenly released, the accumulated energy is unleashed in approximately 1/3000th of a second. According to precise measurements from high-speed cameras and force sensors, its peak instantaneous acceleration reaches a staggering 10,000 g. For a direct comparison, when you ride the most thrilling roller coaster, you experience about 5 g. Top fighter pilots endure about 9 g during extreme maneuvers. If a human were subjected to 10,000 g of acceleration without protection, their bones and internal organs would be reduced to molecular-level pulp within 10,000ths of a second. Yet, the mantis shrimp's punch reaches a peak speed of 80 kilometers per hour in that instant. In the deep sea, a medium 800 times denser than air, this punch generates an impact force of 1,500 newtons, equivalent to the collision force of a mini-truck concentrated on a point only a few millimeters wide. However, the true physical miracle only begins at the moment of impact. Because the punch is so fast, the water in front of the club simply cannot move out of the way in time. According to Bernoulli's principle, when fluid velocity is extremely high, pressure drops sharply. In this instant, the local water pressure drops below the vapor pressure, causing the seawater to instantly boil and form tiny vacuum bubbles. This is known in physics as cavitation. Moreover, the implosion generates localized temperatures exceeding 5,000 degrees Celsius, triggering a flash of light known as sonoluminescence. This effectively transforms every strike into a miniature stellar explosion, a dimensional strike, dictated by the fundamental laws of physics. Facing such terrifying recoil, why doesn't its own hand shatter? This is the subject global materials scientists are most obsessed with. In a conventional evolutionary path, increasing hardness requires increased calcification, but this makes the material brittle. Like ceramic, it is hard but shatters upon impact. To solve this paradox, the Peacock Mantis Shrimp evolved a structural logic millions of years ahead of human industrial civilization, the Bouligin structure. Through microscopic scans under an electron microscope, we can see that its dactyl club is precisely divided into 3 layers. The outermost layer is extremely hard hydroxyapatite, providing the raw hardness to shatter crab shells or even withstand tempered glass. But the true essence is hidden in the middle layer, the periodic region, where chitin fibers are stacked layer upon layer. These fibers are not simply aligned in parallel. Instead, each layer is rotated at a tiny angle relative to the one above it, forming a helicoidal spiral staircase-like stack. This structure is physically referred to as a crack-guiding maze. In traditional single-crystal structures or metallic materials, once a crack starts, it usually expands rapidly in a straight line, leading to total failure. In this spiral structure, however, when the massive recoil generates a crack, the crack finds itself trapped in a maze it cannot navigate. For every micrometer it penetrates, the direction of the fibers changes, forcing the crack to constantly turn and dissipate energy, thereby preventing it from penetrating the entire structure. This logic of conquering the hard with the soft is the holy grail of modern biomimicry. Currently, research teams in the aerospace sector have successfully decoded this structure. They found that if carbon fibers are arranged according to this Bouligin structure, aircraft wings can be 20% lighter while doubling their impact resistance. In the military sector, body armor R&D agencies are also studying how to use this bionic logic to create new composite armors that can absorb high-caliber kinetic impacts while being lighter and more flexible than traditional ceramic plates. We are taking ordinary elements and building extraordinary strength. If that punch represents the pinnacle of physics, its eyes are a cheating tool from God. When we talk about seeing the world, humans are relatively blind. We have 3 types of photoreceptors, which construct our RGB world. But in the compound eyes of the Peacock Mantis Shrimp, there are as many as 16 types of photoreceptors. This means they can see ultraviolet, infrared, and countless color dimensions that the human brain cannot even imagine or name. From its perspective, a seemingly ordinary patch of coral reef might flash with color signals more complex than the neon lights of a bustling city. But color vision is only half of its optical capability. It is the only known creature on Earth capable of perceiving circularly polarized light. This isn't just for beauty. Among the jagged rocks and chaotic shadows of the reef, many predators have evolved near-transparent bodies or highly sophisticated mimicry to hide. But under circularly polarized light, these invisible beings reflect extremely unique physical signatures, making them stand out like flares in the night. This has even become their private, encrypted communication channel. Specific parts of some mantis shrimps reflect polarized light, which, while appearing as chaotic colors to others, are clear territorial warnings, mating signals, or even threats to their own kind. The most shocking discovery comes from recent medical front-page reports. Research has found that during early proliferation, cancer cells change the way they reflect polarized light due to the disordered arrangement of internal proteins. This change is completely invisible to the naked eye or conventional medical scanners. Consequently, scientists have imitated the mantis shrimp's compound eye structure to develop high-precision bionic cameras with polarization sensing capabilities. These cameras allow surgeons to identify disguised, blurred, and minute tumor tissues in real time through this shrimp eye view. Who would have thought that an optical instinct evolved 300 million years ago for survival on the seabed would provide the most critical optical key for humanity to conquer cancer in the 21st century? The Peacock Mantis Shrimp is not just a synonym for violence, it is the pinnacle of evolution. Beneath its aggressive exterior lies a spirit of contract, rare in the biological world. Many mantis shrimps practice strict monogamy, co-managing burrows and honoring mate contracts for up to 20 years. This complex social behavior proves the high degree of maturity in its neural evolution. When we decode this creature, we see not just power, but a biological program spanning 300 million years, a fusion of physical limits, material miracles, and optical, black technology. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Your support is the sole driving force for us to maintain high-density original content. Please browse our channel. You'll surely find a video that captures your interest and sparks your curiosity. Thanks for watching.